I've been wanting to rebuild my work slash desk setup for a while now. I spend most of my time, at least 90% of my time, using that little space in my living room. Monday to Friday, if I'm not at the office, I work from home using that setup. And on weekends, if I'm working on a YouTube video or one of my personal projects, I still use that little corner. So I wanted the space to be more organized and like well equipped, and most importantly comfortable. So I decided to rebuild the whole pre-existing setup that I had, and take it as a more of a DIY project and show you guys how I did it. So a little backstory why I had to rebuild my existing setup. First, when I moved into my new apartment, I wanted to save as much as space possible in my living room, and I decided that I would have one side of my desk on top of the drawer that's hanging onto the wall. And later I realized that was a bad idea because my cable management became terrible to non-existent, and I didn't have enough space to make anything very well organized, and adding more stuff to my desk would mean that I'm adding more stuff to the drawer that's hanging onto the wall, which isn't really ideal. Even though I had a very good ergonomic chair from Drabut, I was still getting shoulder pains because of the way how the desk is standing. The desk was so tall to the point that I couldn't readjust it to my height. So I decided to call it quits on trying to save that little corner space and rebuild my whole setup and take it as a DIY project for one of my weekends. So first I had to get 2 more legs to move out of the drawer space and have an independent desk. I had to get 2 more of the similar desk I have. So initially I got this height adjustable IKEA legs in white. It's called Olo, and I have been waiting for them to stock up again so I can get 2 more of it. But they usually come in stock during the work days, and by the weekend when I have finally the time to go get them, it's already out of stock. So I decided to screw it and get them in black instead, because I wouldn't really push through another week of shoulder pain. So I headed to IKEA to get some essentials for the desk and started the build. It took me around 3 to 4 hours to build the whole setup, probably more than that if you add up the whole commute and cleaning up phase. So I started off by taking all the things that were on my desk and then vacuumed the top of the desk to get all the dust off, and then started attaching the new legs that I got. Since the new legs were in black, I decided that they would go onto the back of the desk. And then finally I had to figure out the cable management. Having multiple displays is awesome, but having to figure out their cable management is not so much fun. The goal was to make as little cable visible as possible outside. So I stuck my cable extensions onto the wall and started plugging my things back in. By this time, it was already close to midnight and I still had to clean up my mess, so I decided to call it a day and finish my build the next day. So my initial idea was to just use my MacBook as a CPU and use my external screens, but if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have probably seen I got this Magic Keyboard with Touch ID last month, and once I got it I realized that this new Magic Keyboard with Touch ID is only compatible with the M1 Max, and I have an Intel chip MacBook and it does not support the Touch ID there. So I still have to use my MacBook's inbuilt Touch ID in order to lock and unlock stuff. So I decided to get an open stand instead and use my MacBook as a third screen. And I also don't have an external web camera, so I still have to use my MacBook's inbuilt webcam. So I went for a stand that lets me use the MacBook open so I can still use my Touch ID and web camera. I'm actually impressed by the stand that I got for this. It's from a brand called Moft. I will leave the link in the description below. I'll put some light here so you guys can see. I was sure that I didn't want a bulky stand, so I was looking for something more sleek and foldable. And I found this. Actually, this one, you have to stick this to the bottom of your laptop, and you can carry it around and use it as a stand from anywhere you like, so it's more portable. And you can also adjust the height of the stand how much you want, like depending on in what way you're folding this. You can increase the height, you can make it 15 degrees, 24 degrees. So it's kind of cool, and it was actually super cheap. I will leave the link in the description. And I also got this desk mat from Logitech. It was only under 20 bucks. It's really smooth and sleek. I really like the texture of it, and I also like the color. It matches my overall aesthetic of the desk setup. And if you guys are looking for some cheap desk mat, I would definitely recommend this. And these external screens are from Dell. Each of them are 24 inches. I've been using them for almost 6 months now, and I quite like it. And like usually all displays have, this has a quite weird name. It's called the Dell 24 U241H. Moving on, what else do I have here on my desk? Yes, I have this Alexa. This is Alexa Echo second generation, I believe. I don't quite use this because I don't have any smart devices or smart lights or things that I can connect this to. So it's just here on my desk purely for aesthetic reason, but probably I should start using it. Moving on, this is my AirPods. I have a little book corner here. It's I have currently two books, Clean Code and Salesforce Architecture book. Clean Code, I haven't finished it. I usually read just like few chapters here and then whenever I feel like it. And Salesforce Architecture I started, I haven't finished it yet. I am still learning a lot in Salesforce, so I still feel like a lot of the topics covered in the book is too complicated for me. And over here I have a lamp which is not really camera friendly, but if I turn it on it kind of flickers. So yeah, I have it here. So moving on, yeah, here I have my drawer where I keep all my essentials. Yeah, before my desk used to be on top of this drawer, and this drawer is hanging onto the wall, which was really a bad idea. So here I keep all my tech stuff like my chargers and wires, mainly cables and the memory card reader and that sort of stuff. And over here I have some stationeries, pencils, markers, and then the last one I have some A4 sheets. That's all. So what else do we have here? Yes, I have this ergonomic chair from Jabot, I believe I'm pronouncing it right. So yeah, this chair is really nice. I quite enjoy it. It has a lumbar support and you can adjust your arms, chair height, even your seating plate. This is really a good chair. I quite enjoy using it. And I guess that's all for my DIY cheap home setup. So that was my little tour on DIY work slash home setup. I'm calling it a cheap home setup because all the desk accessories on the desk except the tech itself can be purchased for well under $100 to $200. And if you need a work setup that's well equipped, you don't really need to spend that much. If you guys know Olier, who makes videos on aesthetic desk setups, he usually says on his channel,
every workspace has potential. As long as you have everything that you need and you don't have a lot of mess and you have it organized, cables sorted out as well.
And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Cheers.